Gentlemen, welcome to the shop. Here you see hand plane. Here you see not hand plane. The old bench grinder is back in duty. The Stanley number 4 is mostly disassembled. It's in really pretty good shape compared to the last one we went through. So we're just going to clean some of this up on the bench grinder and do some of these little bits. So safety squints on. So that's the tote and knob. Just had really flaky garbage paint left on them. Figure I'd just fry that off of there. We'll do the linseed oil on those as well. The iron assembly, cap and iron, were in pretty good shape here. But you can see definitely where this has been rusting into place, so we're just going to tidy this up a little. The edge is actually pretty, like, it's dull, but it's in pretty good shape. So we'll finish this up, a couple of the little bits, and then we'll switch to some sanding, finishing for assembly. Oh, I just remembered one more thing while we have the grinder out. The tote was a little bit wobbly, and if I tighten the screw way down to like destruction tight, it would still wobble a little bit. So I'm just going to nip, smooth a little bit off of the ends of this where it's kind of rough from the threading and stuff. I'm just going to touch the ends of this down a little bit, and that will effectively reduce the length and allow it to tighten a little bit further. So these totes get, as they get old, and this is 50, 60, whatever years old, the wood dries and shrinks a bit so that it doesn't fill the whole length here anymore. And you know, you want your whole length taken care of. So we're going to trim this in a little. Alright, totally forgot to do these bolts with the grinder, and I don't feel like digging it out again. I'll just give them a little clean. Mostly just cleaning the crap out of the threads. Good news, the neighbor got a snowblower started. Now, these little guys, just a touch of schmoo on them there. Just blast those off so that they're smooth for mating, registering. This guy I hit with the grinder, didn't get the bottom of it. There you go. That's as clean as that needs to be, right? You can do this without a bench grinder. One thing, you want it to look kind of pretty, but the other thing is you clean up the burrs that happen from the screwdriver abuse in that slot there. You always want to clean up an abused slot. Oh, not bad. Time to get out the fancy sharpening table. Which, if you remember, is a piece of melamine shelving. And we're just gonna tidy these surfaces up they're really quite good, but just give them kind of a cleaning here. Pull the lever cap screw so we can sand all of this. We can sand all of this nice and flat and level, and then sand along this area and along this area. Just tidy it up, and we'll see what it looks like here as far as being flat. So we're getting a little high here, a little low there. Sand it for a couple minutes and smarten that up. Not bad. Now here's a fun one. If you want to get a good look, Sharpie. We'll give her a couple of blasts with the Sharpie here, just to indicate which ones of those surfaces are going to burn off sooner. There you go. See, this one's still a little bit uneven. So we'll try to work that down until it gets rid of most of that mark again. Try to do even pressure so you're not leaning one side over. That's coming. Remember, all the YouTube pros spray adhesive their paper down. But ain't nobody got time for that. So there we go. Now we have most of the machining marks done. Pretty even all the way across. All the pen marks are gone. Sharpie marks. That feels like a good solid place to land a plain iron. I'm happy with that. What else do we need? We need, oh yeah, we have to load her back up to do this part. So next up, we're just going to do a real quick assessment. I got one of these things. We're going to clamp this in here, read the measurements on the end of it. So you want it to stick out so much to give so much angle. And we'll do that here now. These things are fantastic. Let's try the old Sharpie trick and just see what this looks like. There's definitely a nick right there. A little bit of a rusty nick there. So we're just going to color this across so we get a real good idea of what that surface is like, what the topography of that looks like. This is just a well-used piece of 220, and we'll see, like that. So that's pretty good actually for one pass, so you can see that it's actually really quite even along the cutting edge. So I'll do this a little bit more to grind the shape, to make sure the shape is happy, and I'm going to try to work up underneath of those little divots in the cutting edge. That one's almost gone. This one's getting there. We're making lots of iron filings, which I guess is part of the process, isn't it? Cool. Oh, cut my paper. Very close. Flatten that back. It's good, flat, beautiful. Alright, we're going to switch it up. Through the miracle of Amazon, or eBay, some such organization of sales, I managed to acquire this little 400/1000 double-sided diamond board thing. We're just going to give that a go at her. You see it's dirty. I've been sharpening some chisels and stuff on it already. I think this 400 side's got a little more bite left in it than that used paper. Spin her around here and hit it from the other side. I think that's good. That's good grind. Now we will start the hone. Flip her over to the 1000 grit side and just take some of that gnarly out of it. That would definitely shave wood, or make wood shavings. However, I think we're not done yet. So again, this is cheap stuff. Like, I think this and this together probably cost me about $30 shipped. This thing was like $8 shipped. So this isn't high dollar fancy stuff, but it seems to work. This is a 1000 grit stone. And in my opinion, it's a finer grit than this 1000 grit diamond plate. So we're just going to kind of use it as the next step. About 400 times on that side. I'm just kidding. It's about 20 times, kind of. And just drag her across the back. Tidy that one more time. And this is another combination, so it's a 1000 to 3000. It has its little rubber foot condom thing, which is great. Keeps it from taking off on me. So give this a shot on the 3000. Probably should have got a bigger stone. There's not a lot of space here. That's a beautiful, uniform looking edge there. Just gonna call that good for now. It's an approximately 3000 grit edge. And see on the wire wheel I touched this whole radius up here because we don't want that rough, because the shavings have to slide past it. So again, we'll give this another little bit of a touch up here. There, you can see that's brightening up. It's almost, you know, it's not sharp, but it's a nice edge, nice tight edge. Time to do the old shuffle here. If you remember from previous episodes that nobody else watched either, we want this body all loaded up with its components. Dab, dab, dab. Dab, 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 dab. Let's see how we make out with our shorter rod. Rock solid. So there we go. Now we have a good handle on the situation, so it seems. Gently plop that in here. Alright, so we're making absolutely sure that there's no plane iron showing here. And then, oh, let's do the Sharpie trick. I brought the Sharpie out here, let's use it. So you can see there's some like stuck on paint bits and whatever. So of particular interest are these sides, and this area, and maybe this area. So if it's hollow in here, I don't really care that much, because everything else is so well supported. You want this and this to support the length, and this to be close to keep it from tearing out, and you want the sides, of course, to support the length too. So let's just see what it looks like after a couple of pulls here. Well, it's good so far. Good support on the edges. This is starting to come in here nice. A little bit on the heel, the toe and the heel. It's good, I'm happy about that. We'll do a little bit of shimmy shimmy. Nice. Grab this edge here, just make sure it's not grabby. There, beautiful. It's just getting in here, down the sides. I would call that successful. But of course, we know that the proof is in the pudding, or in our case the shaving, or the planing, or the whatever you want to call it. Alright, that was interesting. Getting her sort of set in here. Seems to work. This stuff's properly ridiculous. Just glassy smooth. So, we'll try on the hardwood. Tried it here first and it was scarring. I think it was dirt. Yeah, it's clearing that off now.